The read access time and hit ratios for different caches in memory hierarchy are as given below. I-cache, D-cache, both are having access time in 2 and 2 milliseconds respectively, and the hit ratios are 0.8 and 0.9 respectively. There is L2 cache. L2 cache read access time is 8 nanoseconds, and the hit ratio for L2 cache is 0.9. The read access time of main memory is 90 nanoseconds. Assume that the cache uses the referred word first read policy and the write back policy. Assume that all the caches are direct mapped caches. Assume that the dirty bit is always 0 for all blocks in the caches. In execution of a program, 60% of memory reads are for instruction fetch and 40% are for memory operand fetch. The average access time in nanoseconds, which are corrected up to 2 milliseconds, is what? This is the question. Now solve this question. Okay, but before this, let us have a clear idea about how cache memory is going to be designed. Okay, you know that the main memory is getting divided into two physical parts. Of course, the main memory is going to get divided into two physical parts by the time you design it, the moment you design it. That is, one is instruction part and second one is data part. Okay, here he is using two caches, two level caches. That is, this is L1 cache and there is L2 cache. When you look at the question, you will have a clear idea that this cache, in fact, this is L1, this is L1 and this is L2. Okay. Now, L1 cache, when you look at, is divided into two caches. That is I cache and D cache. But L2 cache is not divided into two things. It is a single cache. This is L2. Okay. What is this I cache and D cache? Now, when CPU executes a program, it has to get the instructions from the instruction memory and the operands from the data memory, right? But here you know that instructions will be fetched from the cache memory. Okay, first it will access the level 1 cache. If there is a miss in level 1 cache, then level 2 cache will be accessed. And finally, if there is a miss in both L1 and L2 caches, then the CPU goes to main memory for accessing either instruction or data element. But here try to understand. Whenever CPU wants to access the instructions, first it will access the L1 cache, that too in the I cache. All the instructions will be searched in the I cache in L1. If there is a miss in L1 cache, we'll go to L2 cache. Okay. If there is a miss in L2 cache, then we'll go to main memory. This is a sequence. Even for the data elements, every instruction requires the data element. Now to retrieve the data elements, first CPU goes to D cache. Okay, D cache in level 1. Then if there is a miss in D cache, then it goes to L2 cache. Finally, if there is a miss in both L1 and L2 cache, main memory will be accessed. This is the scenario because the program is involved in executing instructions. If you want to execute the instructions, you need to fetch both instructions and the data elements associated to the instruction. So here in this case, L1 cache is divided into two caches separately. One is I cache and one more is D cache. All the instructions will be searched in the I cache first. If there is a miss, there will be L2 cache to search for. If there is a miss in L2 cache also, we go to the main memory for accessing the instruction. Similarly, for the data elements, as the level 1 cache is divided into I cache and D cache, for the data elements, we go to D cache in L1. If there is a miss in D cache, we go to L2. Finally, if there is a miss, then finally we'll go to the main memory. Okay, so this is the access scenario which is going to take place in accessing the instructions and the data elements. Now, as it is separately given instruction access and data access, here we asked about average read access time, that is average memory access time we need to calculate. But instructions and data are separately given. Now what we need to do is, we need to separately calculate average memory access time for the instruction and average memory access time for data elements. Okay, let us do that. Okay, AMAT for instructions is equal to, first you write the formula, H1 T1 plus 1 minus H1 into H2 into T1 plus T2 plus 1 minus H1 into 1 minus H2 into T1 plus T2 plus T3. This is the thing. Now, let us find it out. What is H1? H1 is equal to, H1 is equal to I cache. We're going to I cache, right? 2. H1 is equal to 2. Sorry. H1 is equal to 0.8 and access time is equal to 2. Right? H1 is equal to 0.8. T1 is equal to 2. Okay. And then H2. What is H2? H2 is D cache. In D cache, hit ratio is, sorry, H2 is L2 cache, 0.9. H2 is 0.9 and T2 is equal to, T2 is equal to 8 milliseconds, because if there is a missing I cache, we'll go to L2 because we are searching for the instructions. Okay, so for I cache, which is considered to be level 1, here level 1 cache, hit ratio is equal to 0.8, time is equal to 2. Level 2 cache, hit ratio is equal to 0.9 and time is equal to 8 milliseconds, 8 nanoseconds in fact. Okay, now let us see. H1 is equal to 0.8 into T1 is equal to 2 plus 1 minus H1 is equal to 0.2. H2 is equal to 0.9. T2, what is T2? T2 is equal to 8 nanoseconds. That is, T1 is equal to 2 nanoseconds plus T2 is equal to 8 nanoseconds plus, I'm writing it here, 1 minus H1 that is equal to 0.2, 1 minus H2 that is equal to 0.1 and T1 is equal to 2 plus T2 is equal to 8 plus T3. T2 is equal to 8. What is T3? T3 is main memory access time, that is equal to 90 nanoseconds, which was given. That is 90. Okay. If you calculate it, you will get 0.8 into 2 is equal to 1.6 plus 0.2 into 0.9 is equal to 1.8. 1.8 into, in fact, 10 into 10 plus 0.2 into 0.1 is equal to 0.02 into 100. Okay, which is equal to 1.8 is equal plus 1.6 is 1.8 plus 1.6 is equal to 3.4 plus 2, which is equal to 5.4. Average memory access time for the instruction will be equal to 5.4. But hold on. If you look at this question, it is clearly given that the instruction access limited to just 60%. The total instruction access will be limited to 60%. So what we need to do is we need to multiply the average memory access time of these instructions with 0.6. Okay, so 0.6 into 5.4 is equal to 3.24. Okay, that is, we are calculating the average memory access time for the instructions, plotting all the values in the formula, we will get 5.4. But in the question, it is clearly given that all the instruction accesses, where is this? All the instruction accesses are limited to 60%. All the data access are limited to 40%. Considering this fact, we have to multiply average memory access time of the instructions with 0.6. We will get 3.24. Okay. Now we will go ahead and find out average memory access time for the data. Okay. Average memory access time for data items. Again, you just plot the formula H1 T1 plus 1 minus H1 into T1 plus T2 plus 1 minus H1 into 1 minus H2 into T1 plus T2 plus T3. Okay. Now, again, you just go and find it out. What is H1 and T1 for data? Okay, for data, H1 is equal to 0.9, T1 is equal to 2. H2 is equal to 0.9 and T2 is equal to 8. H1 is equal to 0.9, T1 is equal to 2 nanoseconds. Let us cross verify. Yes, 2 nanoseconds. And H2, if there is a missing D cache, where we'll go? We'll have to go to L2 cache. That is, H2 is equal to 0.9 and T2 is equal to 8 nanoseconds. If I'm not wrong. Yes, this is 8 nanoseconds. Now plot this. That is equal to H1 T1. What is H1? H1 is equal to 0.9 into 2 plus 1 minus H1 is equal to 0.1. H2 is equal to 0.9 into T1 plus T2 is equal to 10. 8 plus 2 is equal to 10 plus 1 minus H1, that is 0.1 into 1 minus H2, that is 0.1 again, into T1 plus T2 plus T3, that is 2 plus 8 plus 90. Because 90 nanoseconds are required to access memory, 8 nanoseconds are required to access level 2 cache, 2 nanoseconds are required to access level 1 D cache. Okay, if you simplify this, 1.8 plus 0.1 into 0.9 is equal to 0.09 into 10 plus 0.01 into 100. Okay, so that is total equal to 3.7. 1.8 plus 0.9 is equal to 2.7. 2.7 plus 1 is equal to 3.7. Okay, average memory access time for data will be equal to 3.7. But we need to multiply with this 3.7 with 0.4. Okay, we need to multiply 3.7 with 0.4 because the total memory data access are limited to 40%. So we need to multiply 3.7 with 0.4. Then we will get 1.48. Okay, so adding both, 3.24, which is average memory access time for the instructions, plus 1.48, you are going to get the answer. That is 3.24 plus 1.48 will be equal to 4 plus 2, 12, 7, that is equal to 4. So average memory access time for accessing both instructions and data for this program is equal to 4.72. This is the answer. Okay, once again, just have a recap of this question. Here we are provided with L1 cache. L1 cache is divided into two parts, I cache and D cache. L2 cache is a single cache and main memory. When you want to access the instructions, instruction access should be through I cache, L2 cache, main memory. Data access should be through D cache, L2 cache, main memory. So here we need to calculate average memory access time for both instructions and data separately. All the other details are negligible, because in order to solve the question, which details are necessary, only those details are needed to be considered. Here you just talk about dirty bit or any other thing. Those are needed to be filtered in this case, because those are not used anywhere in solving this question. Okay, the answer is, as you can see, 4.72. Answer for this question is 4.72.